Before tablets, before smartphones, how did we ever survive those family road trips that seemed to take forever? Well, with a little thing called the Gameboy Color. What, did you think we meant something non-electric? Come on, we're not that old. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 Game Boy Color games. For this list, we're looking at the best games specifically released for the Game Boy Color, rather than enhanced ports of original Game Boy games. So that means that The Legend of Zelda, Link's Awakening DX is out. And that being said, we are dropping the one per franchise rule for this list alone. Just this one. Number 10, Kirby Tilt and Tumble. Tumbling into our 10th spot is our favorite galactic pink ball or something, and we've never seen him more ball-like than in this oddball of a game. Using a unique motion sensor mechanic, and yes, this was a pretty big deal in the year 2000, players controlled Kirby by tilting the Game Boy itself, sending him rolling into baddies and on his way to victory. Nintendo was thinking outside the box for this one, and we had a ball playing it. Number 9, Shantae. A cult classic that shattered the idea that platforming adventures belonged to pipe-warping plumbers or vine-climbing gorillas. This hip-shaking, hair-whipping half-genie shook things up in this often-forgotten gem, released too late in the system's life to get the love it deserved. With a host of abilities, including transforming into various animals and delivering serious beatdowns with only her hair, Shantae is more than up for the adventure. The game itself is gorgeous, from the detailed levels to the fluid animation, so give Mario a rest and give Shantae a whirl. If you'd like to, your choices are to find an extremely rare physical copy for about 300 clams, or just grab the virtual console version for the 3DS for about $5. Number 8, Bionic Commando Elite Forces. You can't go wrong when combining platforming, grappling hooks, and a sci-fi adventure that fits in your pocket. Elite Forces continue the shooting and swinging action of the NES classic as the protagonist travels through Karenia to save it from the evil Arcturus. The plot wasn't the only thing that got an upgrade though. New mechanics and features brought this sequel to life, with smooth animation and action-packed gameplay. This gem of a game fits right into our top 10. Number 7, Pokémon Pinball. The 90s were a glorious time for the Pokémon franchise. You could take literally any game concept in the world, slap the word Pokémon on it, and it'd sell like hotcakes. Surprisingly, a lot of these spin-offs were actually really fun, Pokémon Pinball included. With the addictive critter-catching features of the main game and some solid pinball mechanics, this hybrid was one of the best time killers you could ever ask for. I guess you can never have enough ways to catch them all. Number 6, Metal Gear Solid. If you ever wanted to take your giant nuke-wielding bipedal tanks to go, this is one game that you need to check out. Also known as Metal Gear Ghost Babel, this non-canon handheld entry in the cinematic Metal Gear series sees Snake return to his 2D roots. The game itself is a far cry from the MSX brethren, with updated mechanics from the later Metal Gear Solid games, making for a surprisingly perfect blend of stealth and action to sink your teeth into. Number 5, Dragon Quest III. Some games were clearly made for those super long road trips. Dragon Quest III is a massive RPG experience that will keep you busy for hours. A remake of the NES classic that featured a robust class system and an epic plot. This version ensures your enjoyment with a bevy of new features. There's just so much to do in Dragon Quest III, it was guaranteed that your parents would never hear you ask, "Are we there yet?" Number 4, The Legend of Zelda, Oracle of Seasons. No Nintendo system would be complete without a little taste of Hyrule, or in this case, Holodrum. Released as a two-piece with Oracle of Ages, don't worry, we'll get to that one soon, the scope of this Zelda adventure was anything but pocket-sized. With traditional 2D gameplay reminiscent of Link's Awakening, a new colorful land to explore, and the ability to control the seasons, there's no doubt that Link's on-the-go adventures had us all obsessed. Number 3. Wario Land 3. From arch-enemy to anti-hero, Wario saw a turnaround unlike any Nintendo villain before him, getting to star in his own series of platformers, including the gem that is Wario Land 3. After being whisked away to Music Box Land, Wario shows off his trademark resilience against a whole new host of enemies, each with new abilities for him to absorb. A fireball might make someone like that old Mario guy lose a life, but for Wario, setting himself on fire is just one of the many ways our resourceful hero saves the day, even if he wasn't really planning on it. Number 2. The Legend of Zelda Oracle of Ages. Because you can never get enough Zelda, right? Oracle of Ages, the counterpart to Seasons, finds Link in the presence of the graceful Nehru, with the ability to travel through time. Yeah, that might sound familiar, but don't worry, it's totally different. Pokémon may have started the trend of releasing their games in 2 versions, but Ages and Seasons feature completely different storylines and dungeons, and you can even link them up for a more unified experience. It goes without saying that with all this game has to offer, it transcends the ages. Before we reveal our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Number 1. Pokémon Gold, Silver, and Crystal. Let's be frank here, if you owned a Gameboy Color, it was almost guaranteed that you got one just to play a Pokémon game. And Pokémon's second generation of games changed everything. The Pokémon were in color, the sun would rise and set, mysterious eggs were found in daycares. Ah, the wonders of Gold, Silver, and Crystal. The originals were good, but these games are what made Pokémon great, and as such, there's no question that they deserve the top spot. I suppose the internal batteries that fried in our game cartridges after hours of playing would agree. Do you agree with our list? What other games had you going through packs and packs of AA's? For more fun-filled top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.